Welcome to Youth Baseball Talk with Gabriel and Chris.
Today we have Tim and Goody with PAC Sports. Thanks for coming in.
Hey, thank you for having us.
Hey, Tim. So we're here talking about the PAC DFW World Series. What makes your World Series different from any other?
Well, I guess the major difference is what we put into it in order to make a true experience for everybody involved. The biggest thing that we do is we actually rent out Globe Life Field, and that's where we have our hold our skills competition. This year we're going to be doing a lot of other things like scavenger hunt, and I'm going to get with the Rangers because they said they got some other ideas that they can add that we can put some value that'll give these kids whether it be a tour of the locker room.
So it's going to be at Globe Life Field and not the old Ranger Stadium?
No, it's going to be at Globe Life Field, the new field where the Rangers play every day.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Let me tell y'all a little something. YBT had the pleasure of doing it last year. Chris couldn't be there, unfortunately. He had to work. It was kind of a last-minute deal. These guys accepted us to come and do some interviews and check it out. And when I tell y'all, it was an experience that I enjoyed. It was an experience that all these kids enjoyed. You should have saw the smiles on their face. It was just incredible, guys. It was one of the funnest events I've done personally myself. So just imagine,
if you enjoyed it, the kids, they're going to be talking about it to the grandkids.
My grown butt was running around with my camera, and Tanya was there recording, and we're doing our thing. It was just a great thing that y'all did. And, so how did you come up with trying to partner with the Texas Rangers and get that going?
Well, that partnership's we've had that partnership for a lot of years. I mean, back when my dad was alive and we were part of the, another sanctioning system, we partnered with them. They did a Ranger Appreciation Day where the teams would buy tickets through us, and then we would actually go out to the Ranger ballpark as basically an organization or a sanctioning body that we'd have hundreds of teams in the stands with all their families and watching, a Ranger game, and they would get to do a parade of teams on the field. And so, we basically took that concept, and when I decided to leave that sanctioning system and start PAC Sports, I knew I wanted to up it. I wanted to bring a true experience for these kids because at that time I just felt like, hey, we're just running a 5-day long tournament, a 6-day long tournament. And I didn't really think there was anything overly special about other than putting the name World Series on it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's when I reached out to the Rangers and said, hey, here's what I want to do. Here's my thought process. Here's the concept. They loved it, and here we are,
That's great, man. That's so awesome.
We had kids on the field. We had coaches on the field. We had coaches taking infield in a major league park.
Yeah.
But the thing that really, for us, we've been part of World Series for years. It's the first time we've ever had skills and drills inside a controlled atmosphere, right, as far as air condition in July.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was nice.
That was very important here in Texas.
I busted a sweat walking into the stadium. When I got there, I cooled off. Yeah.
The cool thing for me is when those kids first got on the field, their mouths dropped like the first time they saw boobs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that it was that kind of a
jaw dropping moment.
Yeah, and they're out there getting dirt on the warning track, putting little deals as souvenirs, and it's just an awesome experience. Having the team's logos on the big screen up there.
That's what I forgot, dude. That was cool. It was like a slideshow of each team's logo on the jumbotron, big old screen. That was dope. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And is there any restrictions as for how many people can come with a team?
No. So basically what they do is we allow all the players and 3 coaches on the field during the skills competition itself. The parents will stay up in the stands and watch just like they would any other game.
Okay.
So only the players and the coaches are allowed to be on the field along with our staff. And that's just because you don't want too many people. You got a lot of balls flying. We got people. What we do is we get our umpires out there. They help to watch, and hey, if a ball gets fouled, hey, heads up, that kind of stuff. So, it's all about safety, making sure nobody gets hurt. But, to me, the way we set it up where we put, like the 9s and 10s in left field at the appropriate distance from the fence. So when they're doing home run derby, they actually see that ball go over the fence.
That's great.
Those kids just, they've probably hit home runs, but that home run probably meant more to them than any other one they've ever hit. Oh,
yeah, for sure. Hitting a home run in Globe Life over the fence.
At 12 years old or 9 years old.
At 9 is better than any coach pitch.
I mean, they're in the outfield mimicking, catching it before over the wall kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the experience that they're having.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then, speaking of the 12U, because we had the 12U in center field, and we had a couple of them hit in the upper deck.
Right.
And, I mean, we had them probably 240 from the fence.
Yeah, they were back there. Y'all had the dirtbag kids were smashing that ball. I remember.
Oh, yeah, man. They were jacking them out of there.
Yeah.
And so, and then we put the young, 8 and under in right field at the appropriate distance. And then when all that's done, then we bring the big boys in. And, that was fun to watch, trying to see them hit it out of the yard.
That's cool, man. So tell me what kind of different activities you're going to have. Has, what's the word I'm looking for?
The skills competition?
Yeah, the competitions.
So this year we're expecting a lot more turnout,
okay.
So a lot more teams. So what we've decided to do is we're going to split the skills competition where we're going to do part of it at the Star in Euless, and then the rest of it at Globe Life Field. So at Globe Life we'll actually probably we'll either do speed on the bases or we'll do turn 2, and then we'll do home run derby at Globe Life.
Okay.
And then at the Star, we'll either do turn 2 or speed on the bases and then catcher's pop time.
Sure.
So that way we can get more teams, every team we can get into there, and we don't have any restrictions because, we can start at 8 a.m., maybe a little bit earlier, and we can have it all the way till, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. But, in that time frame, you want to get everybody that experience of getting in there and be on that field. So we're going to split it up in 2 different sections.
That's actually very, very smart, splitting it up, because they're still going to get that Globe Life action, but yet they're going to get that also ballpark action, where they actually play at. So that's cool, splitting it up that way. They get the best of both worlds.
Absolutely. And then after they get done with their skills on the field, at Globe Life, then that's when they can go experience the scavenger hunt, and then whatever other activities that we have set up, and that, because hopefully one thing that we're pushing for is an actual tour of the locker room, because that way they'll already be on the field, the locker room's right there, they'll be able to go in there, do the tour, and then go back up and then do everything else. So they'll actually get to go in there and see the guys' lockers and see their jerseys and that kind of stuff. I think that'd be a really cool experience for them.
That would be really cool. So y'all parents, wait for that. We're still trying to get that, or PAC's still trying to get that set up. So, there's still more to come. But what they're doing right now is phenomenal. The kids, like, I can't stress it enough about the joy on these kids' faces. Just like you said, walking in there. Forget doing the skills competitions.
Yeah.
Just walking in there and being on the field. They just jaw dropped and laughing. There was no sad kid.
Oh, no.
No sad kid.
Yeah.
Not even if their mom said no, they can't have nachos, or no, they can't have a candy bar. They didn't care. Yeah. No sad kid. It was so great.
And the cool thing is, I think for 14 and below, I want to say the entry fee is only $600, which is about $125 a game. That's about what your people are paying for a normal. Actually paying a lot more than that right now for just normal tournaments. Mm-hmm. So we're even keeping the cost of the World Series at a very reasonable price for what they're getting. All games on turf. It's the whole tournament we're going to have on turf fields. That way they don't have to worry about rainouts. They get Globe Life. We got the Ranger Appreciation game on the 8th.
Oh, so you are setting up a Rangers Appreciation game for the family and players to come?
Yep. So that'll be on the 8th. They'll be able to purchase tickets through us as a team. Get to do a parade of teams on the field before the game starts. The only thing is what we're trying to push for. It's not guaranteed yet, but we're trying to get where one lucky player out of all the teams will get to be the one that throws out the first pitch.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be it's just going to be like a raffle.
Yeah, just be a random draw.
Okay.
Come on, Rangers, make it happen. Come on. That's great, man.
Yeah.
That's some good stuff.
So it's just going to be a weekend, a 3-day tournament?
No. So it starts on the 6th. That'll be the skills competition, and it goes to the 11th or the 12th. So basically we'll start pool play on the 7th. We'll have some pool play on the 8th, but that's the Ranger game. So it'll be a short day on that day, so everybody can get to the Ranger game and get out there at a reasonable time and not have to worry about traffic and that kind of stuff. And then from there, it's just rest of it's pool play and bracket play.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then one other important question: is there any requirements to enter the World Series?
Yes and no. So if we got a lot of teams that are talking about coming from Oklahoma, and if they, we want everybody to play at least 3 PAC events, and the reason why is not so we can make money off of it, it's so we can figure out whether you're really a AA team or you're really a AAA team, or should you be a majors team, and so by playing with us, we can got to get a feel after you played 3 tournaments, and that's roughly 10 to 12 games you should get in or more.
Yeah.
If you play that many events. If you don't play any PAC events and you want to come to our World Series, as long as you played with another sanctioning system, we can go out there and see your record and see what you've done. If let's say we think you're let's say you're AA in another sanctioning system, but we think you could be borderline AAA, we're going to make you play up to be safe.
Yep.
Than to put you in a AA and just railroad everybody.
And plus, that's just not fun, parents. Don't do that. And coaches, don't do that. If you're going to go to World Series, go to compete, not to smooth selling.
Yeah.
But these guys, about these World Series, give the best trophies around town. Heck, around anywhere. Best trophies I've ever seen just for doing a pop-up for the skills events. They were crystallized trophies. They were all different sizes, shapes, and everything. And that's what the World Series trophies were as well. Crystallized trophies. They were cool.
The championship ones, they kind of look like a true champion, like a World Series trophy.
Mm-hmm.
They had the pillars, with the one deal in the middle. And so that's the reason why we got those, is because of that, the way they looked. They kind of, to me, they resembled that World Series trophy,
And it did. I mean, I was taking pictures and everything. It was just the way y'all are running this is so great. Is the reason why y'all are in here talking about it. Yeah. Why I and Chris want to promote it. Why YBT wants to promote it, because to me it was one of the smoothest ran World Series at this level.
Yeah,
it's the only one at this level.
And that was your first year as well.
Yeah. So last year was our first full year. So
being a sanction, correct?
So
because of COVID.
Because of COVID, 2020 was supposed to be our first year. Obviously, everybody knows what happened there. Mm-hmm. I mean, and so really our first full year was last year. So to go from where we're at then to where we are now, what do you say? We're probably growing at we're growing 50% from last year to this year, and we're growing so fast it's unreal.
Yeah, that's for sure. We spoke a little bit, before we started recording, but it was so good, like, that I wanted to go back. That I hit you up right after, and we got it. We already put it on our calendars to be back, and it's just something that I talk about all the time to all different teams, because that's how good the event was, and not just the skills competition, but the play also, and umpires are great, parents were great. It was a different feeling than any other World Series that I've experienced. And Chris and I experienced a ton of World Series and a ton of tournament baseball. And this was by far, I will keep telling people, y'all need to check out PAC's World Series. That's one of the best ones in DFW. And so that's cool. Y'all have teams from Oklahoma. You know, hopefully we get teams in from Louisiana and
California,
surrounding places.
Absolutely.
You know, for us, obviously it was our first year World Series under PAC, but it's not our first World Series.
Right, exactly.
I mean, we've been part of World Series for years.
Yeah.
And, this one we were able to implement all the things that we truly wanted to implement. And mainly just for the experience.
Yeah.
Like Tim mentioned earlier, just seeing the faces of these kids, their mouth just dropping. And that's the biggest thing I hear every weekend at the fields is, oh, it's you guys. I mean, they know who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, if they've been around tournament baseball, they know who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helps these teams want to come back is because they know that in the past they've had a good experience with us, and they realize that, we're going to put on a good experience for them, not only during the week, but for World Series and everything else. So,
yeah.
Did y'all receive any feedback from teams or parents?
Oh yeah. Yeah. A lot of emails, a lot of messages, talking about how great the experience was, how they can't wait to come back next year, which now it was this year. So, nothing but positive feedback. I can't tell you one negative comment or negative email we received for that World Series. And I contribute part of our growth to, I think, the way we're handling just our normal weekend events. One thing that we're trying to do is keep the cost down because, as well as y'all, I think you got a kid in that plays select ball. There's people out there charging $750, $600 for a normal weekend tournament, and I'm not even talking like 15U and up. We're talking 14U and down. We're talking 12U, 11U, 10U.
Yeah.
There's no scouts at that level to where you should be paying that kind of money for a select event, So, our model, like at the Star, we're charging $315, and we got one of the best, probably the best complexes in all of North Texas.
Oh yeah. And
to be charging $315 for an entry fee is unheard of.
Yeah, that's very true, man.
And going back to your complex, Goody, you were telling me about how bad the weather conditions have to be for y'all to actually cancel a game.
Oh yeah.
Some of these.
We basically, I think all of last fall and spring, I think we only had one time where we actually had to pull the plug, and that wasn't because those fields drain. It's incredible the way it drains. It can rain for 30 minutes, an hour straight. You give that thing 30, 45 minutes, you're almost ready to go back. The problem that we had was it was on a Sunday, and we just, because of the rain, I think it rained 3 or 4 hours straight. We lost so much time in the day.
Yeah.
We were going to have to cut game times down to 20, 30 minutes in order to try to get it in. It's just no way we could do it.
Yeah.
If we had more time, I have no doubt we could have got it in. And that's all of basically just one tournament, all of last spring and fall.
And that was just partial of a tournament. We didn't lose the whole tournament.
Right.
Just like the last.
It was the last. Did y'all pull the plug at night?
Yeah.
It was at night. We played that tournament. It was storming, lightning. We were actually in that tournament. Mark was playing with another team, and it was a championship game. It got pulled right before the championship. But I remember that. It was no joke storming.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. So before, like probably 2 weeks before that, we had another real. I'm talking a turd floater. Now this is on Saturday, and it came down for a solid 45 minutes. There was standing water on every field. Okay. And I tell these coaches that, hey, me and him are running around. We're trying to keep everything under control. And this one coach says, hey, man, we're out of here. I said, look, coach, if you leave, when we're playing here in about 45 minutes and you're not here, you're forfeit out of the event. Okay. He says, I'm cool with it because you're not playing.
Yeah.
I go, okay. So they leave. And I'm not going to mention any names, but they leave.
Yeah. And
it stops raining. Within 30 minutes, we're walking the fields. Everything is solid as a rock. There's a little bit. There's a few puddles here and there, but it's playable.
Mm-hmm.
So we're playing. That same coach calls me back, says, "Hey, I just got word that y'all are playing." He goes, "So can we not play tomorrow? I said, no, I already told you, you're forfeited out.
Yeah.
You forfeited your game. So when you forfeit a game in pool play, you're forfeited out of the event altogether.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm turning back around. I got to come see this with my own eyes. Because he just did not believe that we were going to be playing.
Yeah.
So he turns back around, and I think it was like probably a 30, 45-minute drive for him to come back, just because he wanted to prove to himself that we were playing. I said, look, I tried to tell you, Coach.
I actually talked to him in the parking lot when he drove back up.
Yeah.
I talked to him in the parking lot, and he couldn't believe we were playing.
Yeah.
That's the lovely thing about playing on turf fields, you know.
Well, there's a lot of turf fields out there, but they still flood and they don't drain because they weren't either set up properly or they're in a very low area. So it's hard for them to drain because there's just nowhere for the water to go.
Right.
When whoever did these fields at the Star, man, they did an incredible job because these things, I mean, it's like literally what happens is the water goes off both sides because it's a fourplex. So you got that cross in the middle. It's literally a river, okay, of water coming through. So if you're walking down the sidewalk while the fields are draining, you're stepping in water that's probably that deep.
Oh, wow.
If you're coming in the back gate, you're in the middle of that flood.
Yeah, because it comes down and out as fast as it could possibly do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I spoke to our director that we have that runs tournaments out in Red Oak, and obviously that Red Oak complex is an all turf. It's a turf complex as well, and he was just telling me just how that field was made to drain water in situations like that. So, not only do we have the Star, but our director in Red Oak, all turf, has a very similar complex.
Nice.
That drains, if not as well, might even drain better because it's a newer system.
Yeah.
It's a newer complex.
So from what they told us is that it could take crazy something like 20 inches of water, and there would be no water standing on the fields.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's how unreal the drainage system is and the way they built that supposedly. Now, I don't think it's been tested yet, but that's what they're saying. So that's pretty incredible.
That's great. So weather won't impact the World Series unless it's tsunami coming through or tornado or something.
It'll delay us.
Yeah, delay.
But it's not gonna cancel us.
That's good.
So teams that that may see this, you're kind of debating on where you want to go because of travel. Come with us because you're going to get to play.
I believe it. There's no doubt.
And I think we even set one extra day aside, don't we, for weather?
Yeah.
Towards the end, I mean, we'd like to finish on this day, but we do have a day extra set aside just in case so we can get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, because this Texas weather is so unpredictable. Mm-hmm. You don't know what it's going to do from 1 minute to the next.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so is there any other bullet points you want to let us and everybody else know about the World Series?
I mean, just kind of to recap, I mean, we obviously got Globe Life Field. I mean, that's the biggest bullet point, right? The skills competition, the awards, all games are on turf. The price point is very affordable for what you get in comparison to other World Series. I mean, when you put it all together, to me, it's a no-brainer. Mm-hmm. You can go to playpacsports.com. There's a stature button. Just put in Baseball World Series, and it'll bring up the DFW PAC, the PAC DFW World Series. And you're more than welcome to enter there, and we'd love to have everybody and anybody and everybody join and come experience it with us.
So what's your preferred communication for someone who wanted to get more information or reach out to y'all?
Well, they can email us. They can email me directly at timcampbell@playpacsports.com. They could go to our Facebook, and they can message us through the Facebook, and we'll get messages there as well. But I mean, email is probably the best way, if they want something quick and direct, and then I can shoot them my cell phone number at that point. And if they want to call and talk on the phone, then we can talk on the phone at that point.
Okay. Well, y'all heard it. If y'all need to reach him, send them an email and they'll get back to you. If you're more of a Facebook user, shoot them a message. Heck, shoot me a message. I'll get you in contact with Tim and Goody, and we'll get it taken care of. Tim, Goody, thank you for coming out, and we look forward to coming out in July and having fun with y'all again this year.
We look forward to having you as well.
All right. Thanks, Tim. Thanks,
Thank you.
Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.